Hi, everybody. Welcome, Shana Tova. We are getting close. We are just a few days away from Rosh Hashanah, from the new year, and I am so excited to bring Nili Salem in to help us get there, to really help us in these final days getting to the holiday, to help us prepare, because that is what this month of Elul is about. As we begin, I just want to say, Nili, you are what we call a bat bait, right? You are someone who is at home in our Sinai Temple community, someone who knows these walls, who knows this sound, who knows these people. So it is such an honor to have you here with us, even though you're all the way in Israel. Thank goodness for Zoom so that we can bring you close. We know that your heart is with us, and we are so excited to have you today. Today, we're going to be learning with Nili a little bit. We're going to be hearing about her book, Awesome Blast.
Oh,
And but really we're here to learn from you. So Neely, I know that when you come to a space, you help us to create the space and be in the space together. So welcome, thanks for being here, and I'm gonna hand it off to you to really ground us in what we're doing today.
thank you. Yes. First, just to reply to what you said, I grew up at Sinai from kindergarten to eighth grade. My mother worked there. My sister is working there. I came back to teach at Akiba. I got to work as a chazanit for the high holidays. So I absolutely love Sinai so much. And it's such a pleasure too to be now in this, whatever is called religious world in Israel. And people ask me about my upbringing and conservative Judaism. And I'm like, it was amazing. And they're like, what? Like, as they don't expect to hear that from me. And I'm like, I learned all of my Hebrew at Sinai. I learned to love God. I became an empowered woman. Like, so I am just so honored and delighted to be in conversation with you and just with the Sinai Temple community. It's really, it brings me great joy. So just to express that. And I was telling you earlier that I have a tradition that whenever I begin anything, whether it's a therapy session, I work as a therapist, or a class or a meditation circle, whatever it is, I love to always begin with 3 deep breaths just to ground, presence, and center us, get our vibe in check. And then I love to just call out vulnerably to God in prayer. So if that's okay with you, I invite everybody coming to learn, because the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. And if we want to really learn and connect into our souls and channel divine light, which is Torah, right? Torah, aura is light. We're just becoming channels of beautiful divine wisdom. So we want to center. So, okay, here we go. Let's go in. And I invite everyone to keep breathing just while I share this precious Torah. If you've never heard it, that neshima, breath, is the same word as neshama, soul. So if we really want to tune into the depths of our soul and the truth of our authentic selves and all the divine wisdom across the universe, we must tune in with the breath. So hello, Master of the Universe, Creator of all. Thank you so much for this precious opportunity to gather with our soul family. We know that nothing is random and souls travel together. So everyone here in this Zoom today has been destined to be here since the beginning of creation, the original Rosh Hashanah. So thank you so much, Hashem, for this privilege. What a rare group of humans on earth that wants to plumb the depths of an ancient tradition together and have it inspire them to love themselves more and come together in community and shine our light onto the whole world. What an epic privilege. I don't take it for granted, God. So thank you. And thank you for all of the amazing things that enable us to be here today, our physical bodies, the delicious food, drink, shelter, peace, and safety that we've experienced today, And please, God, my prayer is that you allow myself and the rabbi to share something that touches everyone in the room. And thank you so much, God, and thank you so much for being with us. Okay, now I'm checked in.
Man. Well, thank you for being here. And, we are going to be hearing a little bit about, as you mentioned, this theme of creation, And, I gonna let Nili share with us a little bit about why today, the day that we're talking about, which is the 25th of Elul, what is so special about this day? What teaching can we learn from this day? Or at least what's one nugget? Because of course there is an endless amount of Torah that we can learn from every day that is presented to us. But I want to just hear from you. We're going to do a little bit of learning, and then we're going to talk a little bit about your book and be in conversation together. But Nili, I'm really going to let you teach us today. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Here we go. Rock and roll. So, what are you talking about, Rabbi? I thought I'm coming to shul on Rosh Hashanah. Today's the day God created the world. What are you saying? This 25th of Elul stuff. What are you saying? So, actually, what most people don't know is that Rosh Hashanah is not the creation of the world. It's the creation of man, which, if we look in the biblical narrative, happens on the sixth day. So actually, from right now, we got 6 days to go to Rosh Hashanah. That puts us 6 days before the creation of man, which was, if you want to go scientific, let's say, the Big Bang, or Vayahi, or let there be light. So I love tripped out Torahs. So do me a favor, sweet listeners, and just open your hearts without opposition to the metaphorical meanings behind what I'm saying, because I don't want to get too, as we say in Hebrew, meduyak, precise. Just have a little faith and trust in this.
We're
So
with you. Our hearts are open, our minds are curious, and we are here for the ride.
okay, I love it. Thank you. So I wrote this book, Awesome Blast, right? Just as a little context, and it's a spiritual guide from the beginning of the month of Elul, which is the month before Rosh Hashanah, all the way through Yom Kippur, and it gives you just a little tidbit on every day. So for the 25th of Elul, this day, the day the universe is created, I shared this Torah that I learned from my teacher, Mora Leah Golem, and she said the most far out thing. Wow. Okay, it's buckle up. So she says that the Big Bang had to explode out of somewhere. This Vayahid, or this primordial explosion of light, which is, by the way, why I chose this outfit for tonight, it had to come from somewhere. Where was it? Like, was there a specific point in the pre-universe? Like, was it like down the street to the left and the Big Bang exploded from there? Was it like, over in Alaska, maybe Hawaii? That would be cool. Like if the whole world exploded out of the place of Hawaii, like where was it? So the sages have a very far out tradition that if you look deep into the Kabbalah, you can find this idea. And they say that the entire universe exploded out of the future point of where the center of the temple in Jerusalem would be in the future. You're like, okay, that's a trip, but like, what are you talking about? And anyways, just in case anyone doesn't have such a strong background, when I say the temple in Jerusalem, if you know what the Kotel is, so that is the exterior wall of this sanctuary, like the main sanctuary in Sinai, the sanctuary that used to be the center of prayer for the whole world, not just the Jews. It was called the house of love and prayer for all nations. And the nations of the world would stream in as one and offer up our thanks, our praise, our requests for forgiveness, to own up. We would all gather here. And at the very, very center of this temple was a small, small room that was called the Kodesh Kedoshim, the Holy of Holies. Now, what was particularly special about this Holy of Holies is it has this little aron, this gold box with the little angels over it that, if you've ever heard of Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they say the Ark, they mean this little gold box. And this primary thing that the little gold box had in it was the Ten Commandments. Makes sense, the foundations of our tradition. Except for if you know Jewish history, you know that we kind of messed up with the golden calf and Moses broke the first set of commandments. Except here's the weird thing is they were in there. They were kept in that box with the whole ones. In other words, the message, God was not being random, like, whatever, those are precious. They were made out of sapphire, because by the way, according to the Midrash, they were. He was saying, you know what's the Holy of Holies to me? Not just your perfection, not just the places where you're beautiful and complete and you stand for all that is moral and all of your good qualities and all the good things you did this year, but also all of your broken places. That is also the Holy of Holies. And so if we take this midrash, this story, this legend, this amazing tale, and we imagine the whole world explodes out of the Holy of Holies, that means that you and me and everybody is made up. It's kind of like the yin and the yang, right? Of all of our beauty and all the mitzvahs we did this year and all the honoring our parents we did. And also all the times we yelled at our spouse and all the times we failed and doom scrolled and messed up and lied and cheated and acted like monsters. All of that is bound up together in what's called the Holy of Holies, because our story and our coming back to ourselves and back to God, that is the Holy of Holies. And so as we get closer to Rosh Hashanah, we have to remember that the world is not created for our perfection. If it was, maybe God wouldn't have put a talking snake in the Garden of Eden on day one of our existence. But rather, we're not here to show up and pretend like we're perfect. Go to synagogue. Oh, hello, Rabbi. Yes, I did my hair so I look holy enough to show up before God. But rather, I am here as I am. I'm coming. Come as you are, they say. And that the only thing that God requests of me is to recall that everything about me is the Holy of Holies. And he, she, it is just wanting a real intimate, vulnerable relationship.
Nili, thank you for sharing. And I would say for me, that's one of my favorite pieces of Torah, this holding the broken tablets along with the whole, but it also is so connected to the creation story of going from tohu vavohu, from the chaos, and starting to add a little bit of light, vayihi or, and then adding a little bit more of something else we need. But tohu vavohu, the chaos that began it all, is still part of the creation story. That is part of it. So thank you for kind of starting us off in that way, because that is exactly, where we're coming from. We are coming as ourselves, which is both broken and whole.
Totally. And that there's this like kind of fallacy that we need to show up on Rosh Hashanah shining our glorious light. And it's like, yeah, definitely shine your light. And like, I think the best metaphor is a relationship between husband and wife or spouses or best friends or parents. It's like, we don't want to whitewash, or what do they call spiritual bypass. We don't want to just say like, oh, Happy New Year, hope it's a great year. We know that the deepest intimacy comes in that moment where I come up to them and I say, I messed up this year and I did not speak to you nicely and I'm so sorry. And I love you so much and let's keep trying.
Absolutely.
And that's Rosh Hashanah. That's between us and our children and our siblings and the whole dynamic and God. And so we can all kind of take a deep breath into showing up for Rosh Hashanah, knowing that God is just so happy that we're still in relationship, that we didn't give up on ourselves or each other. That's really the highest high, And actually, fine, I'm just going to keep rambling. I must, not rambling, but just sharing because I'm so excited. I hung my famous shofar that I've taken all around the world on the window so you could see it, but I have this one here just to show you, is that I have this obsession with the shofar. That's the foundation of the book. And the idea that's so amazing is that, the idea is that the shofar that we hear on Rosh Hashanah, like, why is it that it touches all of us so deeply? And I think this also really holds both of those polarities, the expansion and the contraction. It both sounds like, a cry, a woman in labor, and it also sounds like glory and coronation and this place beyond words that calls. So it really, again, it holds the polarity which makes for the whole and allows for the deepest of the deep, which is unconditional love.
Beautiful. So, Nili, I want to just bring us back because I need
Yes.
a little bit more clarity on this
Yes.
idea of the 25th of Elul
Oh, yes. Take it.
and
Yes.
why this day is so special and why, what does it kind of mean in the lead up to Rosh Hashanah?
Okay, cool. Well, if it's okay with you, we'll go a little new age woo-woo, but since the core of the audience here is in LA, I think it's perfect. So start driving to Topanga, get yourself a matcha, and let's go. I hope you're coming out of yoga to listen to this Torah. So what does it mean, creation? And why is it so significant and this specific day so significant? And just the idea of creation is to help us recall that we really are truly co-creators with God. And the amazing thing is that just recall, like what other tradition in the world says like, hey, today's the day of creation. Today, everything is new. Today, everything is possible. Today, you can start again. Is this idea that we have free will, we have choice, and it's giving us this week-long opportunity to recall that it's really it's in our hands to create with God. And then he gives us tips and suggestions of how to do so. And he says, listen, I got these books, right? I'm going to create a whole new world right now, right? We could cue Aladdin. I'm going to create a whole new world and you can have a part in it. And so here's the thing, Rosh Hashanah is coming and I'm going to put these two books out. This one's called the Book of Life. This one's called the Book of Death. And here's the secret is I'm not me as if I'm God. I'm not writing you in there. You are. And whatever you want to co-create, let's do it together. I'm suggesting life, but here's the thing. If you want to choose life, you're going to have to choose hope. You're going to have to choose love. You're going to have to choose believing in yourself. And you're going to have to know that God, in Hebrew, we call God Hakol Yachol, the one who can do anything. So in order to, in this moment, realize that we can create the life that we want, which again sounds very manifesty woo-woo, but Judaism, the Kabbalah, and New Age spirituality are like really, really in sync if you go deep. It's saying, friends, my children, homies, this is it. What do you want? What do you want for this coming year? And today is that day where all creation starts again. And God is asking us, what are your dreams? What are your dreams for your life? What do you want to create? And especially if there were no limits. And the amazing thing about this, by the way, is that Rosh Hashanah, so Rosh also means, well, your head. Rosh means head. And Hashanah, it means the year, but if you take the Hebrew root of the word Shana, you get the word, it comes from the same root as the word leshanot, to change. So Rosh Hashanah is a yearly opportunity starting today, the 25th of Elul, to completely change our mindset. And so that's it. It's renewal. It's God giving us the chance to start again, knowing that literally everything is possible, and not in the cheesy way, in the super empowering, you are so powerful and I believe in you way. Yeah.
So, Nili, in the best way, and, sometimes in a way of like, oh my goodness, we just have a few days left. Right? Few days left. So I would love if you could help us think about, so what can we do in these few days, right?
Perfect.
Like Rosh Hashanah is really around the corner. Help us prepare. Even if, maybe I haven't had time over this month, the past 25 days, 4 days, right? In this month of Elul to prepare, I still got time. So what can I do in this time that's available, right?
Okay, so I'm gonna give practical instructions, and I want to give a preamble, and that is, first of all, if anyone here is feeling stress, anxiety, or overwhelm, I want to cue you in on something, and that is cue you in, clue you in. I've been living in Israel for 17 years. We lose it. They say you don't become bilingual, you become like chetzi lingual, like your Hebrew
Uh-huh.
and English. So if you're feeling any overwhelm or stress or anxiety, this is actually a trick of what we call the Yetzer Hara, the other side that really wants to bring us down, and prevent us from approaching the new year with joy and ease. Yeah, because there's nothing we can do at this point except for a few practical things so we can actually remember that this brokenness and this cycle, like we were talking about at the beginning, is part of the way, and we can just give ourselves a break. Because really, we want to be entering into the new year with a vibration of love. And if the vibrations of grief and anxiety and despair are bringing us down, so you're being tricked. Yeah. The Yetzer Hara is tricking us. And I work on tshuva and return all year long. This is like my jam, and it can still come to me. Like today, I was like, oh my God, when am I going to have time? How am I going to prepare? And then the second I felt that anxiety, I had to remember, I'm being duped, so that I will succumb to anxiety, worry, overwhelm, and despair. And then I won't actually be able to enter the new year with joy. So that's preamble. If you're feeling anxiety, just please be aware that you're getting tricked, and you can just toss it because you were already accepted and loved. Part one. Part two, practical. Okay, it's actually simple. And we have really until Yom Kippur, so you can also take another deep breath if you want. So there's thank yous, which is my version. There's no great rabbi with a long white beard who says that, but I'll explain why they don't and why I do. Thank yous, sorries, and money. Okay, so first of all, I'll go through each one briefly and what we can do about it. There's a female, what's called a rabbanit here in Israel. She's very famous. Her name is Rabbanit Yemima Mizrahi. And she teaches in the really religious circles where they're really putting effort and like really, like doing all this hardcore work, and they're saying all of the Psalms, and they're like really, really, like Judaism is the focus. And so they're always turning to the leadership for like more guidance and more mitzvahs. And she says the only sin that you can do before Rosh Hashanah, the only real sin that you really have to be careful about, is that you didn't give out all of the love in your heart. We focus on like, I did bad and I messed up. And it's like, okay, but you're going to do that for the rest of your life also. So right now in these moments, we're working on, it's a loving romance. We're working on thank yous. We're working on I love yous. Because again, if we're renewing this connection with God, it's like renewing a relationship with your partner. Do you really want to sit there and go through all your old fights? No, you want to be wise about this reconnection. So how do you start? With love and appreciation. So that can be for the people closest to you in your life and with God. So for the people closest to you, so my personal technique, and if you have time for this, great. If you don't, fine. It's also in the back of the book. There's like a little tshuva guide. I use modern technology. I go through my iPhone. I sit with a pen and a paper for a half hour. Yeah, it's so easy and it's so fun. I scroll back in my photos all the way to last Rosh Hashanah, and I start making a list of any time I see, oh, wow, that person showed up at my class. That was so supportive of them. Oh my God, that person had me for a Shabbat meal. I had such a beautiful time with my friend that day on the beach. And I just make a list, a quick list as I'm going through the photos of the people that I just want to say thank you to for showing up for me, for being there for me when I was having a hard time. And then I quickly send text messages. It's like so easy, so fun. You get to review your year. So part one, thank yous and I love yous. Because also we know how ingenuine it feels when someone's like, I just want to call you 2 days before Rosh Hashanah and say, I'm so sorry for this. And it's like, yeah, okay, thanks. It's Rosh Hashanah, so you called. And it's like, well, that's also good. But let's first start from a place of loving repair, which says to my partner, you mean so much to me. And I want this year to be even better. And you really, you did this and you did this and you did that. And I see you. Now, after there's love, then maybe we could talk about some of the hard stuff. But if we're only starting with the hard stuff, it's a little awkward. So starting with love, and you can just do that again through the simple process of going through your phone, looking at your pictures. If you're not a picture taker, you can go through your calendar of the year and just jot things down. Okay, now, as I'm going through my photos, I do the same thing with saris. Awkward interactions. I remember that, oh yeah, I got into a fight with my friend that time during that thing, or ooh, we had a really, woof, did I lose my temper in that thing, or so on and so forth. And as I'm going through the pictures, I just make a list. And for the easy ones, I just shoot off little messages. For the more difficult ones, I invite a conversation. And then also to recall that not all things, it's not the right time for all healing this week. And it's not even the right time for healing with everyone before Rosh Hashanah. Sometimes relationships were toxic, or it would really hurt the person if you reached back out, like someone you dated who just doesn't want to hear from you. Like we have to be sensitive. But what you can do is just schedule yourself a therapy appointment, talk it out. And I am a therapist, and I did this myself. I went this week. I actually scheduled a 3-hour session because I knew I had a lot to talk about, and my therapist is awesome. But I knew that there were certain relationships that weren't ready for healing, and it wouldn't be sensitive if I approached them. But I want to show God, I want to show my partner that I'm still in this to win this. I still want the cleansing of my heart. I still want to approach the new year with my chin up. And so either you can send the saris, you can reach out, or if you can't, doesn't mean you're just like, well, I can't fix that. That person was this or this. Like, no, we can still do something to show that we're invested in cleaning our hearts and in creating a beautiful year ahead. And along those lines, I want to say my friend Shandel taught me this beautiful teaching. She said, self-esteem comes from doing esteemable acts. So whether or not you're able to repair things with people, just the fact that you are thanking and showing your love and appreciation and reaching out or taking the action, you then will feel so proud of yourself. You'll have done these esteemable acts, and you can go into the new year with your chin up. And all of this so far, besides the actual therapy appointment, can take you an hour. And by the way, giving yourself this hour or 2 hours, you just schedule it. Go to Starbucks, go to, oh my God, what's my favorite hike in LA? Down by Pali, or what was Pali? What's that canyon called?
Well,
just find a natural area.
I
Yeah,
was
go
gonna
to
say find
Venice.
something, like whatever it is, it's like
Yeah,
find,
it's
find a
just a
place
couple.
to take a breath.
And you can treat yourself. Go to your favorite restaurant and order all your favorite things. Go to your favorite natural spa. Go to the beach. You can make doing tshuva and recreating your world something you really, really love. And that's what I am like, standing on soapboxes saying is like, wow, this is amazing. Then I become so proud of myself, and I get to heal relationships, and I get to start the new year happy. And so it's really a win-win-win situation. Okay, so we talked about love, giving out the love of all the love in your heart, which can be also very vulnerable, but we need to hear it from each other. Me to call my close friend who I spent the most time with this year and say, you are such a good friend to me. Like that could renew her whole spirit for her year. And then of course the saris, and now money. Let's talk money, honey. What does money have to do with Rosh Hashanah? So money, in my opinion, is one of the most important things to clear before the new year. And the reason is it's cute to be emotional and fuzzy. It's cute to use words, but something about cleaning up our money, and I'll explain what that means in a second, is really a sign that we're ready to get real, that we're not just talking the talk, that we're walking the walk. So when I mean money, I mean two things. I mean cleaning debts, and I'm not talking about college loans or whatever. I'm saying, think, my girlfriend and I went out for coffee bean. Did I pay her back? Oh my God, I borrowed $20 from my cousin. Did I pay them back? Little tiny money things. Or if you notice, maybe you took a pad of paper from Sinai Temple when you worked in the office. Yeah, I actually had to do that after I worked at Sinai or any other places. I realized there were places where I wasn't perfectly moral. And I wanted to clean it up because each year that you clean up your monetary things, you hold your head a little higher and you don't want to do it again because you don't have to deal. So just little money things that, oh, I could get away with that. No, 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 no. Because then you won't have esteem and then you won't feel good about yourself and you can't walk through the world shining. So part one is cleaning up little things with money. And I think all of us can find a place, and I mean even $5. Like if your friend treated you that day, but like you said you'll pay them back, like pay them back. It makes you a person of your word. It makes you a person of dignity. And it makes you a person that God takes seriously. He's like, oh, she's really careful. He's really careful with her dealings. Oh, let me give them more, right? We talk about manifesting, like here's a way to bring in the abundance. And finally, so we talked about, again, giving love and thanks and appreciation. Hakarat Tov, it's called. Sending those apologies, or at least getting started on it without any pressure, because pressure is from the Yetzer Hara, and money, which is cleaning up, and lastly, tzedakah. Here is the hack of all hacks. Yeah, I've been studying Torah now for, like I said, maybe 17 to 20 years, and I mean really, really seriously. Yeah, like anywhere between 2 to 10 hours a day of like really engaging in this world of Torah. And I have found nothing better, and these are not even my words, they come straight from the sages, than the practice of giving charity. And not just giving charity, but giving charity until it hurts. So they say start with your family. And that could mean the people around you. It could mean the nation of Israel. It could mean whatever you feel comfortable with. Your synagogue, right? We use their services, hook them up. I'm like a little Torah teacher in Israel, so I start with 100. And then I go for another 100. But you guys are from LA. Don't fool me. Your numbers can be higher than mine. You know what I'm saying? Give a donation. Does it hurt? No, I can't give again. Does it hurt? No, give again. Does it hurt? Until you get to that donation, it's like, oh my God, I really have to give again? Yeah, give again. And it's like, what? Why? And then when it hurts, go one more time. And here's why. It helps us remember that God is in charge and that we are just here to help God create this beautiful world that he's been wishing to create since today. Since 5,700 and nearly 86 years ago, when God created the world, he created these people called Jews. And he said, you guys are going to help make this world a gorgeous place, but you have to trust me. You have to trust me. So when we give tzedakah, we release control on holding on to what's ours or fear of the future. And we turn back to God and we say, you have given me everything this year. Everything. You've given me everything. And I know because you love me so much, you want to give me so much more in the coming year. I release and I give and I help my friends and I help the people around me. And I have the privilege of doing this practice where I learn trust. And so when we give tzedakah, when we clean up our money, we don't just talk the talk of starting a new year as a mensch, we walk the walk. So a lot of words, but it's a really simple process, and it's a process that can really be done in just 2 hours, but you must prioritize yourself. And that is also such a beautiful message because we must walk into the next year knowing that we have to take care of ourselves first so that we can show up for everyone else. So the whole tshuva process is really a glorious way to develop the personality traits that you can then live with as a proud human in the world. Pause. Rabbi, what do you think?
Beautiful. Well, I'm taking it in, but I think that also what you're saying about the trust and also about giving, there's a piece of it that's also recognizing I have what I need. And when we're able to understand that and really, really take stock of, do I have the things I need? Yes, I do. I want to make sure that others have what they need. That's also part of, I think, this process of giving tzedakah is understanding, like, I'm actually covered. Yes, there are always things that all of us need in our life that can be filled in different ways, but for this moment, I'm okay. So I need to make sure our other people also taken care of. So I think that it's also, as you said, part of that partnership with God. We are partners with God in this world. We are here to be partners with God because God actually, for me, I think that God, in the best way, shouldn't be doing it all. We're here so that we can also be part of that process. If we
An
are,
effort.
if we're made B'Tselem Elohim in the image of God, it's because we should be partners and we should be mirroring God's ability to give what is needed. And the rabbis always say you should be refilling somebody's cup. You should be making sure that what has been emptied is actually filled up again, that you should make sure, does somebody have what they need to be a dignified human in this world, to be able to see each other as human beings that have God in them. So I think that it's exactly what you're saying. There's the I love you is the thank yous, the I appreciate you, the hakarat hatov, the recognizing of the good that we have to do. Yes, there's the I'm sorry's, because just like the tablets, we hold the broken tablets and the whole tablets. There's things we're going to be whole. I love you. Thank you. You are blessed. That's the whole. I'm sorry is recognizing there are moments that were broken, and that's okay. That's human, but we can also recognize those. And then the piece I think of what you're saying about the monetary aspect of it is so real because that is also very human. That is part of our world in every aspect. But it's making sure that I have what I need and I can give a little bit more and I can give more and more. And yes, sometimes it hurts, but actually there's hurt that is good. There's hurt that helps us grow.
And maybe the right, more appropriate word is fear. And so it's really an exercise in letting go of fear. Like it's scary to give away our money, but why are we scared when we have been taken care of so beautifully our whole lives? And
Exactly.
and this whole therapist perspective, right? It's so clear to me when I walk into shul and I saw the person that opted not to give because they're sitting there like this. They
Mhm.
don't feel good about themselves. This
Mhm.
whole thing is God's trick. This whole God telling us to clean up our act so we could have the best year ever. It's not because He needs us to clean up our act, it's because when we clean up our act, we walk into shul like this.
Yes.
And we create the vibration that attracts all of the wonderful, amazing things that we were praying for.
And good begets good. It's like if you bring goodness, goodness will come. I also want to just make a plug because you're just highlighting it so beautifully, which is our mental health center here.
Yes, heck
Sinai
yes.
Temple, we have a mental health center that we have an on-site licensed LCSW who is here to be that person. Take this opportunity. If you've never made an appointment before, this is the time. Do
That's
it.
so cool.
Make time. Like this is part of our temple. This is part of Sinai that we're saying. And I think it's exactly highlighting what you're saying.
Oh my God, the best thing to
Actually,
do. Yes.
part of the Jewish experience, make an appointment. Talk
Okay,
to
wait.
your year.
Are you
Have,
ready for this? Are
yeah,
you ready for this? This is why I love it's so cute that Sinai is called Sinai Temple, okay? Because we were talking about the temple in Jerusalem that today the whole world explodes out of that point of holiness, which is so
right.
appropriate for Sinai. But listen to this. Then when you realize that your whole entire world is created between your temples because your mind is
Wow.
your temple. And the more beautiful you make this place in here, the
Mhm,
more beautiful that light can shine out to the rest of the world. So
mhm.
it's not random that it's called a temple and that these are called our temples. Because the perspective we choose in the world that we create in these thoughts and how we see ourselves and each other's, that mental health aspect, that is what then
Mhm.
allows us to,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Right. Exactly. It's all connected and it's natural. This is what Judaism is about. It's
exactly.
about taking care of ourselves in this part of ourselves, in this part of ourselves, in the doing part of ourselves, and taking care of each other.
And that brings us right back to the beginning with the broken and the whole tablets and the fact that that's what happened today is all
Exactly.
of us is the Holy of Holies. We don't have to be ashamed We just have to step forward and show up for it, find the love, find the forgiveness, take the action, and then we're golden. We're
Yeah.
golden. Get it? Golden.
I love it. And so okay, Neely, I want to make sure that we have time for your book a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because
Pleasure.
you were saying that in the back of the book there's this thing. Can you just clarify to us kind of what do we find in your book? And I love that, you'll tell us a little bit about it, but as you said, the back is the practical, right? I want to make sure that that's highlighted because you have this awesome guide in the back of this book. And just tell us about it.
Okay.
What is in here? How can we use this? And yes, it's called Awesome Blast 40 days of shofar intentions. It's okay if you didn't get to it, first of all, because there's next year, right? Each year we renew, but also there's always something to learn. But the back of this book has this extra little gift, I feel like, that you give us. So I want you to share it with us a little bit.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, there's the book. You look on the side, you'll see a little gray part at the end. You open to the gray part, and it's called Nili's Famous Tshuva Guide. So I've been working in the seminaries and the yeshivas here in Israel for years, and the students always arrive the month before Rosh Hashanah, and everyone always tells them, and I want to I'm like an exaggerated human, so I'll just say it like this: do tshuva, do tshuva, do tshuva. But it's like, first of all, what the heck is tshuva? Why are you telling me to do it? How do I do it? And why didn't anyone ever tell me how? It's like when someone says be happy, I literally just want to punch him in the face. Like, what do you mean be happy? Be at peace. Like, no, somebody tell me how to be happy. Somebody tell me how to be at peace. Somebody tell me how to do tshuva. So first, just in case anyone hasn't heard this word, tshuva is typically interpreted as repentance, which sounds like a super ugly word. But in Hebrew, if you break down the word tshuva, you get tashuv, which means return. Hey represents God. So what it means is return to the godliness in you. Remember who you truly are. And just a quick note again from the therapy office, which I really love, is that, and tell me, I'm going to make you guess, okay? If people are in like a low part of life, or they're just not feeling good, do you know what the number one thing that they'll say is? They say, I just don't feel, starts with an M. They'll say, I just don't feel myself.
Mm.
And that is actually so strange and interesting and fascinating, because how come everybody says that? I just don't feel myself, because at the truth, the core, we know that ourselves is this awesome, hence the title, this awesome, radiant, epic, wonderful person. And when we feel off, we don't feel ourselves. So the purpose of tshuva is to help clear away the static, and maybe I'll give a quick metaphor if we have time, to return to who we truly are, which is that little girl, that little boy that you remember playing around, loving life. That true part of ourselves, that's tshuva. Because God, again, isn't having us go through this repentance process so that we can like bang our chest in shul and be bored. No, he wants us to remember who we are. And again, that's this, limit the words. Remember who we are so that we can shine this radiant Jewish light into the world so that everybody can remember who they are. Like Reb Shlomo Carlebach says, we're chosen to let everyone else know they're chosen too. We're here to illuminate the world, not because we're like some pompous, like rich people from LA. We're here to illuminate the world because we have this job that we return to creation and Rosh Hashanah every year to say, wait, I return to myself, the awesome person I know I am, so I could let everyone else know how freaking, pardon my language, awesome they are too. And so this tshuva guide in the back basically just takes you through the super practical steps, which we're kind of talking about with the sorries, thank yous, and the money. But there's 6 days. It's cool because we have 6 days right now.
Right.
And
Perfect.
it just takes you through a literal step-by-step process that helps you arrive at shul on Rosh Hashanah again with your head up. I would love to give that metaphor I was talking about. Do we have time for it?
Yes. Yes.
So quickie, and maybe this will be my outro, but I think it's very important for anyone that might not be feeling so fabulous about themselves. As I learned this from a rabbi here in Israel called Rav Daniel Katz. And he says like this, So imagine you have a room, okay? It's a cement box. Don't worry, nothing threatening. We're just getting mentally creative. And in the corner of the room is like a little window at the top. Yeah. And it's a sunny day. And so from this little window, there's no glass on it. There's like a ray of light that shines into the room. Have you ever heard this metaphor? It's
Oh,
so good. Wait, it's so good.
that
Oh my.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, oh, you're so ready for it. Okay. So now let's say I put into the room a bucket of black paint and I'm like, Rabbi, go crazy on this ray of light. And you're like, okay. So you take the black but big bucket of paint and you hurl it over the ray of light. What happens?
The paint falls on you.
Paint
Right?
falls on you all over the floor. But what about the ray of light?
Big.
Same. All right. Now let's say more. And I bring you more black buckets. Now what happens? The room's
Oh, I
a
mean,
mess. You're covered in
oh,
black paint. Ray of light?
the, the light's okay.
Light's the same. Now let's say I want you to go Jackson Pollock on me. Just decorate the whole thing. Just you
Right.
go crazy. So we know the answer already is that you might get a little messy. The room might get a little messy, but nothing happens to that ray of light. And that is the metaphor for our soul. All year we mess up. We're destined to mess up. We're put here to mess up. That's plan A. No one has to feel bad about themselves. And then in these days, we just sort of clean up the paint and we start again. But the whole time we were pure, the whole time we were beautiful, the whole time we've never been disconnected. In our lives, we have never ever been disconnected from the source of all love and all goodness. And it's just waiting there for us to remember that so that we have energy and strength to make it through another year. And that I love that because once you realize that you're already pure, like in the beginning of our prayer service, we say, Elokai neshama shenatata b'tehorahi. God, the soul you have given me is pure. Then once we know that, and we're just here to clean up our little messes along the way, then I'm not marred, I'm not scarred, I'm not separate, I'm not alone. I'm just a little holy cleaner, just here to do some cleaning work to remember the beauty that exists in me and in you and in everyone around us. And that's really the work. And that's what the work points us to in the back of the guide. I think I veered away from the book again, but I just get so excited about the whole topic that
That's
so
that is okay. I love that because I think that like that idea of return, it's returning to the light, it's returning to yourself.
the light we already are.
Exactly. It is the light that we are, and I would say that that's the God in us.
100%.
It's returning to the godliness that we each are in this world. And I also think of Rosh Hashanah, I would say is it's personal, but it's also for other people. Like we are here to help others return. Rosh Hashanah is not a solo experience. It is not something that we, stay at home and we pray by ourselves. We are in this together. We're standing next to other people who are also in this really intense time of tshuva, of returning to ourselves. And a lot of times we think, oh, that's a personal journey. That's an individual journey. But for me, I would say Judaism is not an individual journey. This is meant to be with other people. Yes, there is personal work that we each have to do, but we're doing it alongside other people who are standing right next to you, who are singing with you, who are pouring their hearts as well. And so much of our liturgy on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, it's not in the individual. It's not in the it's not in the singular. It's in
Hashem knew, by God knew, we
and
have done this.
it's not about just us. It's actually about our communal actions and the way that we need to work as an entire people to say we can all be saying more thank you and I love you. We can all be working towards more sorry, and we can all be working to clean ourselves up.
Okay, one more metaphor. You ready for this? You just
Yeah.
slam dunked it with this one. The fact that you took it there after the ray of light. Okay, check this one out. Now imagine I'm outside on a sunny day and I have a massive piece of cardboard, okay? Very thick, massive, large piece of cardboard, and I'm holding it up, okay? And now I take a pen and I poke holes all in the cardboard, okay? So what I see under here is all these individual rays of light. The truth is, what's really coming from above is this oneness. So in shul, we might be deluded to look around and say, oh, there's her and him and him and him and me.
Right.
But when I pull back the curtain, then I realize that we're totally all one and we're in this together.
Mhm.
And that's why we do our work, because it's yeah, it's a collective consciousness. It's a collective effort that we're doing to bring peace to the whole universe forever.
Mhm. And
So
I would say for me, I feel that sometimes during the high holy days, and if anyone's in my service, you'll see sometimes I close my eyes because there's something really magical about just hearing the collective voices, and you take away that cardboard, you take away the individualized piece of, oh, I see this person's mouth singing, I see this person's mouth singing, I see them one. Sometimes when you just close your eyes in a moment when we're really singing and we're really opening our hearts, we're one voice and we're hearing that as a whole. So I also just want to invite everyone, try it. Try to see that cardboard taken away where you're not seeing the little tiny rays, but it's just one. So Nili, I want to just, because I'm looking at the time, I want to just look at the last thing that you wrote. And just to highlight this, because it's so beautiful, the language you use, just to bring us to this 25th of Elul, this day that we're focusing on in your book. And I'm just looking at the end of what you wrote for this day, because how you organize is there's something for every single day of the month, every day of Elul. But then you actually take us a little further, which I appreciate, because as you said, don't worry, Rosh Hashanah is not the end. Actually, Yom Kippur also not the end. Don't worry, Hoshana Rabbah, like there's some time. Um, but you said new beginnings, new mindsets, new creations, renewal, starting over, and the outflow. All of these are synonymous with holiness. Basically, this is one big holy journey. So I want to thank you, Nili, today for taking us on this journey, for just bringing us closer and closer to Rosh Hashanah, to giving us a little bit of a path, helping us on the journey, because it's okay to need help. It's
oh,
okay to say, I don't know how to get from 6 days out to be ready for the holiday that's coming. How do I go on this journey? And as we said, we don't need to go on this journey alone. And it's okay to say, I need a little bit of guidance. I need a little bit of help getting there. So thank you for being our guide today to really help us on our own journeys that we're on, but also in the collective journey of the Jewish people and the people of the world who are on a journey of just making this world a more holy place.
yeah, and making
Yeah,
the space between our temples into
exactly. And
yeah.
thank you for being here with us all the way from Israel. I know that we you're in our hearts, and we're with you, and we appreciate your Torah. Thank you for sharing with us, and thank you so much, Mimi.
Laila Tov, everyone.